Right now, a new analyst note is blowing up across tech blogs and social media. Numbers are being treated like fact, but there's a huge problem. These are early leaks about products that are still years away, based on one analyst's projections, not Apple's official confirmation. You already know how often these final specs get completely rewritten before launch date. So in this video, let's break down what's being claimed, why people are hyping it so hard, why you should stay skeptical about the iPhone 8 and Pro leaks and the foldable iPhone. Rumors dot because if you take this stuff as guaranteed, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and you're letting hype dictate your upgrade decisions. Let's get into it. According to this layest report from Jeff Poole at GF Securities, Apple is apparently working on two huge things: the iPhone 18 Pro series and Apple's first foldable iPhone. On paper, it sounds insane. A 20 Pro chip, new N2 chip, C2 modem, 12 GB LPDDR5 RAM, under display Face ID, a dual 48MP camera system on the foldable, triple 48MP camera array on the Pro models, and a 7.8-inch inner display foldable with a 5.3-inch cover screen. If you're just scrolling headlines, it sounds like everything about the iPhone 18 and Apple's foldable phone is already locked in. But here's the truth. This is a snapshot of what one analyst believes Apple is targeting today, not a guarantee of what Apple will ship tomorrow. Let's start with the foldable iPhone, because that's where the wildest speculation is happening. The note claims Apple's foldable iPhone will feature a 7.8-inch inner display and a 5.3-inch external cover display. That would put Apple directly up against Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold lineup and other book-style foldables. The report goes further, saying it will run on a 20 Pro chipset, paired with an N2 chip and a C2 modem. Sounds futuristic. Apple's current A-series chips are still making their way through a 17. Analysts know Apple roughly follows a yearly. The 2026 or 2027 foldable will use a 20 Pro. That doesn't mean the internal design, performance targets, or AI capabilities are finalized. It's a naming prediction, not a spec sheet. RAM. The leak says 12 GB LPDDR5. Again, that's reasonable for a high-end foldable in a world where multitasking, high-resolution displays, and AI features are standard. But it's also the most generic, safe prediction you can make. Every serious flagship with a giant foldable display in 2 to 3 years will likely be in that RAM range. This doesn't confirm anything unique about Apple's strategy. Then, there's the biometric situation. Supposedly, the foldable iPhone will support Touch ID and might skip Face ID entirely. This alone should make you pause. For years, Apple has been all in on Face ID as the primary authentication method on the iPhone. They redesigned notches, dynamic island cutouts, and now are allegedly developing under-display Face ID for future devices. And we're supposed to believe that the company would ship its first foldable iPhone, a product that would define a whole new category for them without Face ID, and bring back Touch ID as the main option. Could it happen? Technically, yes. Not a final decision. Then the cameras. This analyst note talks about a dual 48MP rear camera setup and dual 18MP selfie cameras, one for the inner display and one for the cover screen. On the surface, those iPhone Fold camera leaks sound impressive. Dual 48MP lenses on the back, two 18MP selfie cameras, so you can take high-quality photos whether the phone is folded or unfolded. But again, ask yourself, does any of this sound risky or bold for Apple? Or does it sound like the safe, obvious thing you predict for a premium foldable launching years from now? Check. Multiple cameras for both displays? Check. It's a collection of expectations dressed up as leaks. Again, Apple's naming convention makes this a very easy guess. If Apple continues doing what they've done for over a decade, of course the iPhone 18 Pro series in that time frame will run on something like an A20. These are likely Apple's in-house communication and connectivity chips. Designed to improve 5G performance, Wi-Fi stability, and device-to-device communication. That sounds realistic, and it fits Apple's long-term strategy of moving away from third-party modems and tightly integrating everything. But here's what you have to remember. Naming internal chips like N2 and C2 doesn't confirm performance, features, or even that these are final components. And Apple cancels or renames chips if they don't hit targets. RAM is another area. The leak touches 12 gigabytes of LPDDR5 RAM for both iPhone 18 Pro models. That's very plausible. Apple has been slowly increasing RAM in Pro iPhones as they push more into high-end photography, video editing, and on-device AI. By the time an A20 Pro class chip is out, 12 gigabytes sounds almost conservative. Then we get to the front camera. Jeff Poole says the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max will ship with an 18MP selfie camera. But another report recently claimed that all iPhone 18 models, not just the Pro, will get a 24MP front camera upgrade. Both cannot be true at the same time. This is exactly why you need to be cautious with iPhone 18 leaks. Different analysts are hearing different numbers from different parts of the supply chain, and those details are being pushed out as if they're locked. In reality, Apple is notorious for testing multiple camera modules and changing specs even late in development. Right now, the only honest thing anyone can say about the iPhone 18 selfie camera is this: the resolution will almost certainly go up compared to today's iPhones. Whether that's 18MP, 24MP, or something else entirely is not confirmed. On the rear camera side, the analyst expects both iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max to share the same triple camera hardware, a 48MP periscope telephoto lens, and a 48MP ultra-wide camera. Again, this all sounds great. Triple 48MP across the board? That's a dream spec list for people who want Apple to go harder on mobile photography. Variable aperture? That will give you much more control over depth of field and low light performance. Periscope telephoto? We're already heading that way with recent Pro Max models. But remember, yes, variable aperture on future iPhones is very likely at some point. 48MP sensors and variable aperture on the main camera is not something any analyst can know today with 100% certainty. Then, there's the display size debate. The leak claims the iPhone 18 Pro will feature a 6.3-inch display, while the iPhone 18 Pro Max will stretch to 6.9 inches. That lines up with previous rumors that Apple is inching screen sizes up slightly on the Pro models. Is that feasible? Absolutely. Apple has shown they're willing to tweak display sizes to differentiate between regular and Pro models and between Pro and Pro Max. But once again, these are incremental, logical predictions, not magical insider confirmations. Apple has plenty of time to adjust panel suppliers, screen dimensions, and even product names before the iPhone 18 launches.